Should I get back with my ex-wife? My ex-wife and I had been together for about 6 years. We had a lot of fun in our early years, moving to different states, and making new friends. I planned to propose and got her family's blessing, and then we found out she was pregnant. We got married about a year later. Well, her depression soon took over, and while I was working 16-hour days, she would sit at home and do nothing. The house was a mess, nothing was done, etc. I would come home and clean, cook, and then watch our son. She would generally go take a nap right after I got home. We were seldom intimate anymore, and there was a lot of stress building up on me. Whenever I tried to talk to her about the issues I was having, it got turned around on what I was doing wrong and what I needed to fix without even validating the issues I brought up, which started the conversation. Our relationship began to degrade further until one day she said she just didn't feel the same anymore. It turns out she was having an affair. We ended up getting a divorce, and she moved in with the guy she had the affair with. We split custody 50-50. At one point she tried to reconcile, and we had intense sex for about a week before she got her period and got sad. She was apparently trying to get me to impregnate her again. Well, when that didn't happen, she just ghosted. A month later she ended up pregnant with the affair partner's kid. Now that kid is like 6 months old, and she wants us to get back together. I have my wants to do it, as it would bring my son back full time and he would grow up in a whole home. At the same time, I don't know if I can raise this other kid who isn't mine or trust her ever again. The kid aspect is one thing if I was saying a woman who had kids prior, that has nothing to do with me. But this affair baby from my wife just gets to me. My self-respect and dignity as well as my peace of mind say no, but the prospect of having my whole family back does have its appeal. Another big factor is, I would like to move to a more cost-effective part of the country, and this, in theory, would let me do so. That is huge factor in my decision. Thanks if you read this far. I know it's a little all over the place. I'm just looking for opinions. Wife has an affair, divorced, got pregnant with his kid and now wants back. It would be a solid no, but we have a son of our own. Edit. Thank you everyone who's reached out. You guys are basically all making the same arguments and points I've made to myself. Honestly, I just had some people who were close to me who said it would be good. I thought I was losing my mind for disagreeing, and so I entertained the thought. I just wanted to see whether others' opinions were in my mindset or theirs. Thanks for showing me I'm not crazy or cold for not wanting to get back together with her. You guys are great, thank you. Now for the top comments. Why would you even want to get back with someone that didn't treat you right when she had the chance? She cheated on you and left you to rot while she had her fun with her affair partner. Now that it didn't work out with him, she wants to come back with the new baby and act as if nothing happened? If you have any self-respect, move TF on and don't settle for someone just BC y'all have a kid. She isn't to be trusted, and if you get back with her, what's gonna stop her from cheating again or getting back together with her affair partner? If you forgive her now, she'll likely do it again and you'll only hurt yourself in the process. And remember, she has a kid with the affair partner, so it's a big chance that he will always be involved in y'all life, and believe me, you don't want that. Next comment. You are the only person that knows in the depth of their soul whether you could accept and love that affair baby. You would have to be able to do this for this situation to work out. You can't just give this a try in the hopes of having your own child back in your life full time and neglect or God forbid abuse this other innocent child or your wife for her transgression. You would have to be able to accept them both back and give your full love to her and both children. If you are not capable of this, and it is a monumental ask, then don't try to do this and ruin all 4 lives in the process. Nothing worked previously leading up to her affair, so thinking you could work things out post-affair with an affair baby in tow is not realistic. Next comment. What, if anything, has she done to change and improve since your divorce? If she hasn't sought counseling, gotten her mental health under control, and worked to show that she is a recovered and trustworthy person, then you would be jumping into the same muck pit that you climbed out of. You'd be going back to the same problems. Going back to an ex only works if the problems that caused the end of the relationship have been resolved. It doesn't sound like anything has changed with her, so why would you go back? Next comment. My wife went insane, depression and suicide attempts, and then capped it off with an affair. You do realize how BD it is until it's over. You only want the old life back. She is a radically different person now, so you can't have that dream. You're a bigger man than most if you can knowingly raise the affair partner's kid, because that is a slap in the face every morning when you wake up. You can't choose the financial advantage but wake up next to someone you don't like every morning. Money is not happiness. You deserve to wake up every morning of your life with happy prospects. This does not do it. Next comment. My son would grow up in a whole home. No, he wouldn't. Your ex's mental issues would affect him and you. Your mental issues with your not-some would affect both children and their relationship with each other. Your lack of trust and her manipulative nature would tempt them to look for toxic partners in their own life. She's also selfish. I think it's naive to think you'll get to decide if and where to move. She tried to get pregnant to force you back in her life without your say. Your life is on the road to healing right now, even if you don't know it. Everyone's life will be ruined. Stay away. Next comment. In my opinion, affairs are not absolute deal breakers. Most of the time they are, but not categorically. Sometimes you can work through that baggage and come through that and still have a valuable relationship. That being said, this does not look like one of those cases. The first and most important reason is I don't know if I can raise this other kid who isn't mine or trust her ever again. That is no basis for a relationship. No matter the facts of your relationship, this is something that spells disaster. Additionally, even if she hadn't had an affair, your relationship prior to your divorce did not seem healthy at all. I cannot find any indication in your post that these issues have been resolved or that any significant work has gone into improving them. Finally, the whole story around the conception of child. You want to provide a better home for your son, but I cannot see this working out at all. As for your desire to move, you will be parenting anyways. You can ask her if she would be willing to move with you and your kid. Maybe her willingness to move with you is not contingent only on your relationship status. Maybe there are other workable arrangements as well. Next comment. She was wrong to cheat, but also if you were never home then you didn't really have a relationship. You had an unplanned pregnancy. She spent 16 hours per day caring for the kid while you were away. She had what sounds like postpartum depression and felt totally alone and like you were never around. I can see how this happened. You talk about how much pressure you were under, but she was under pressure too, and you don't acknowledge that in this post. You were both under pressure and neither of you helped the other. You had a lot of fun with her in your early years, but the relationship was already on the downhill when you started working 16-hour days. If you don't make time and effort for your relationship, then you can't be surprised when it falls apart. Although she should have just asked for a divorce sooner before cheating, of course. So if you look at it through this point of view, you have basically never had a true adult relationship together. Sure, you had some fun, but the moment things got difficult with a kid, neither of you were able to handle it well, and instead of working together to make life easier for each other, you both abandoned each other. I don't see any reason why you'd want to resume a relationship like that. As for the affair baby, it's not an affair baby. She wasn't married to you at the time, or even in a relationship with you. It is simply her baby. The baby didn't arise from an affair. That was the main relationship she was in at the time. You don't have to raise the kid, but the kid is part of your blended family. They are your kid's half-sibling. Also, it's not like the kid chose to be born into this family. I think you need to let go of some of this bitterness so you can see the situation more clearly. Your former marriage was basically never functional, and it was both your faults. Cheating is wrong, but cheating is not what killed your relationship. Your relationship was dead long before that. You have a blended family now and you need to be kind and welcoming to your kid's half-sibling. The best way to give your kid a whole home is to just keep on being a good dad. And maybe meeting a new wife/partner someday who is mature and able to handle life's difficulties alongside you, not against you, and that you don't work against her, either. Next comment. I appreciate your opinion on this matter, but no. We were mid-divorce when she tried to reconcile. She was having an affair before we even split. I worked 16 hours because we live in an extremely expensive area and it was required to be able to afford to live while she took care of our son. I don't treat the kid badly, he's a kid is not his fault, but he's not my kid. And how he came to exist I frankly find appalling. Again, not the kid's fault, but it's exactly why I couldn't see myself trying to help raise him. We didn't have an unplanned pregnancy. We agreed having a kid would be great and I planned on marrying her anyway, so she got off birth control. So for the most part, your assessment of the situation is incorrect. I agree with moving on and being a good dad, however. Next comment. She probably was and still is suffering from PPD. Sounds like 16-hour work days and miscommunication tanked your marriage in the first place. She handled it like a total but if you came home to a newborn who was fed and cleaned and happy, that woman was busting her ass all day long on very little sleep. You have no idea how much work a newborn is. No one can keep a newborn cared for and a house cleaned, dinner made, etc. on their own. The newborn takes priority over everything, and the number 2 is mom getting enough sleep, so you coming home and taking over child care while she has a nap is 1000% normal and expected. You wanted the house cleaned? Hire a maid or ask the in-laws for help. Not noticing or helping your wife with her depression is a huge fail on your part. You didn't deserve to be cheated on, but for future partners, if you see them struggling, I hope you love them enough to actually try helping them. Sounds like she's still struggling and still needs help. Get her to a doctor's appointment. Next comment. Regardless of your relationship, she is the mother of your child. You cannot change that. Coming from someone who suffered postpartum depression, she needs help. I typically run marathons and postpartum depression had me on my ass. I didn't know what was wrong, was in total denial. Even if it's not postpartum anymore for your ex, she sounds unstable. This isn't good for your child or for you. I can guarantee your relationship with her will improve in some capacity if she receives treatment. It is her choice in the end, but I would suggest having her seek therapy ASAP. This doesn't excuse her behavior in any way, by the way. She hurt you and that's not okay. Next comment. I'm not sure there's anything she could do to prove that things will be different this time around. Trust people to be who they've always been, not who they say they are. The main issue though is that kids model their parents' behavior. It's one thing if you can find it in your heart to forgive and move on, but is that type of behavior really something you want your kid to see and internalize? Think about the message being sent here. She cheated on you, her own mental health is in shambles, and she seems to be blatantly manipulative. It seems like your son might be taking care of her more than she takes care of him. If your son came to you with the scenario you brought to this thread, what advice would you give him? Please, love yourself like you love him. Next comment. Why on earth would you get back together with this woman? She has lied and cheated on you and could do it again. She doesn't take care of the house or cook. You'd be raising a kid that isn't yours. She's shown that she isn't to be trusted and isn't worth your sanity. And getting back together for your kid's sake is literally one of the worst things you can do. Hey, let's get back together so that our kid can see us together as mom and dad and be in a family home. Kid grows up and all he knows about relationships is that his parents fought all the time and there was no trust or intimacy.